Good evening. This is Erica from Flicker Hill Homestead, Zone 5B, North Central Massachusetts. Our growing season's about 155 days, plus or minus probably 10 to 15 days. And our average last frost date is early mid-May, but was very late this year. And so we're gonna go through our Birdies raised bed garden for our weekly garden tour, which I know I'm a little late on, so hopefully you guys can see a big difference in what's been going on here. Talk about what I've been doing, what I need to do, what's working, what's not working, and try to give you some tips and tricks. So mostly we have been growing veggies with some flowers sprinkled in over the last couple years. And this year I am doing a lot more flowers for our cut flower farm and selling flowers locally. We go to the Westminster, Mass Farmers Market, which is on Fridays from 3 to 6. We're there kind of per diem, not every week. So if you need something from us, please just message us on one of our social accounts and check in and see if we're going to be there. Feel free to put an order in and we can try to meet you guys. Yeah, it's been working out really well. So what I'm going to do now is go through kind of just the full walking tour. We do have birdhouses in our garden. These are for house wrens, and there actually are 2 nests with 2 house wrens with eggs right now. These house wrens are great little garden companions. They will eat most of the caterpillars and grubs and things like that out of your garden. So they have been fantastic there. So this first bed here is actually 4 of the 8-in-1 birdies put together, the short ones, so about 15 inches tall. And we do have the extra corner still that we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with. This bed had 50 tomatoes in it last year. I think we have 48 this year. We did get caught with the frost, so you can go back and see some of the damage and the prep that we did to try to prevent the frost. And some of these plants, as you can see, it did amazing, and some of them I had to replace. So we have irrigation that Jay set up here. One thing I should note is that we are getting the bad pollution from the smoke and everything from the Canadian wildfires. So if that's impacted you, I'm hopeful that you are safe and your family and friends are safe. And if you hear my raspy voice, that is why. The air quality is not good at the moment, so I'm not going to be out here for too long tonight. Just out here while we're watering. I've got some of the irrigation going and sprinklers going. So the tomatoes, yeah, some of them made it, some of them didn't. I need to really get in here and prune off all these suckers and get these strung up this weekend. That is a huge goal of mine. I did put some smaller tomatoes in here, so what will happen is the other ones will probably grow up around them, and they'll just get passed on the lower and lean strings, which is absolutely fine. It's easy to go around tomatoes if you have one variety that grows faster than the other. It doesn't really impact what's going on in the bed. I companion plant alyssum, and I also have giant marigolds on the end, and I've done zinnias down the middle. I have a few more zinnias to plant into the center, and I may also put a few cosmos in there. That'll really help with the pollinators and also give me a little more cuts. So the irrigation Jay set up has 3 main runs here, and these will all have a single stem, a line for the tomatoes. There are 3 main types of tomatoes. There are Big Beef, Cherokee Carbon, and Rutgers in here. Most people are familiar with Cherokee Carbon, which is a cross between Cherokee Purple and Carbons. But Big Beef as well. The Rutgers is actually a Campbell's soup tomato. It's really red, makes very, very red sauce or soup, and it's incredibly sweet, actually, but it can also be used as a slicer. I have some of the first flowers over here. These doubles and triple flowers will make those funny looking ones where you have like multiple little bumps on your tomatoes. That's multiple flowers being pollinated. I've got some more marigolds and some status at the end here. So this bed is 27 feet long and was really successful last year. So I definitely wanted to repeat that. The big difference last year was we did onions down the centers and the edges. This year we're just doing onions down the edges there, and I need to plant the onions here. I still also have some celery to plant in here and some basil I'll probably sprinkle in here again. Coming over to the next row. This first bed was kind of a cut flower bed to see if I could have one bed with a whole bunch of different things in it. The alyssum actually self-seeded from last year, and so that is just coming up, which will be fine in there. Again, great cut flower. I've got more Lizzies out here. This is a lavender for these tall ones here that I did do a trade. Some snapdragons, cosmos, feverfew, stock. I've got a bunch of really good looking stock over here, which I'm excited about. Some butterfly weed, status, celosia from Rose Hawk Farms. It's a different color than, I think it's the coral color maybe. Giant marigolds. I'm sure I'm missing something else. It's probably like right here in front of me and I'm not even seeing it. Over here, I've got onions going around most of the edges. I need to finish planting those. Some snapdragons I transplanted in, giant marigolds, snapdragons, a bunch of snaps here that need water, and a bunch of stock. These are mostly the vintage brown stock that I'm really excited about, I think, but there might be some blues and purples in here as well. This next bed is all Patterson onion. These onions are ones that I bought plants from, Johnny Seeds for, and the alyssum self-seeded. This next one is onions and Lizzies, and with a little alyssum, of course. These Lizzies, let's see what color these are. Light yellow doubles. There's a different yellow, I think, in the other one. And this is purple, a white with purple edges. And then, I don't know which colors these are. I think this is a mixture of my leftovers from the ones I purchased. Up here in the first tall row, this one's a bit of a hybrid bed. It's got onions in the back, which I'll show you in a second. Some melody broccoli. It's a mini broccoli from Johnny Seeds seed. Status, some picnic peppers, marigolds, flat leaf parsley, feverfew here, cosmos, and some snapdragons as well that are looking pretty good. Some kale. And so I'm trying to interplant my lettuce with my onions this year. Trying a kind of a different technique to do heads of lettuce. In theory, this should work. Over here, I've split the bed between our early season carrots, and our some of our peppers. So I have poblanos for the first ones here, then guajillos, jalapeno, and some ties. I think these might be the tall orange ties, but I can't remember. And some onions in there. This is one of the potato beds. These are regular potatoes here. These recovered really nicely from the frost, and this is exciting. When these bloom, that's when you know you can start stealing potatoes, which means you can dig into the soil and find little mini potatoes that have amazing flavor, and they you don't have to dig up the whole or pull the whole plant. You can just take what you want for dinner. That's a scarlet tanager. They are gorgeous. I don't know if you can really see the red very well, but it is the brightest red bird with black wings. That was just up there in that tree. These whiskey barrels, I didn't really plant these well yet. This first one actually self-seeded snapdragons, and so I've been because I lost 2 or 3 trays of snaps early in the season to a wind, I have been stealing these as they've been getting bigger and planting them throughout the other gardens. And this one needs some weeding, so it's got butterfly weed, delphinium, cosmos status right now. Not sure what else I'll do, if anything in there. That'll probably fill it up and maybe do another cosmos or so over there. Over here, I've got some peppers that really need some help. They need to get planted badly. And actually, these ones were the same size as those, and these are looking already better. I've got a few radishes left in this bed that I need to harvest this week. So be doing that, and I'll start planting in the spaces around it. I should be able to plant actually quite a few of those cayennes when I get a minute here. So this bed will be almost all cayennes, onion, and I did put a marigold. I think that might be a small marigold there. Over here, I had harvested the spinach pretty quick the other day, but hopefully we'll have some good spinach harvest this week. It looks like, yeah, I got plenty. I was worried about the heat. You'll see some damage here, so I just tend to pop these off, but still very good for eatings, and you'll see the new growth is coming right up, so those will hopefully be ready for next week, whereas this side will be ready for this week. I harvested over 7 pounds just on Friday last week from this bed, just to give you an idea of one Birdies 8-in-1 tall bed and what I can get from a spinach harvest. And that's, with gaps and things like that. So pretty impressive, I thought anyways. Over here, I've got onions surrounding my ace bell peppers. I do have a few picnic peppers here at the end of this one. Typically I do 32 bell peppers in one bed. These are mostly California Wonders with some ace here. The smaller ones are ace. I do keep these rather pruned, and try to get really healthy stalks up until we get to a place where they can actually hold the weight of a pepper. So this is looking pretty good. So at this point I can actually start letting it flower. It also, from a size standpoint, say I have a full-size pepper here, this could actually hold and it won't touch the ground. So that's how I know, whereas these ones I'm not going to let flower until they get to that height and that sturdiness. Our last row of tall beds before we get to the tunnel, I am thinking about harvesting some of these lettuces, the little baby heads of romaine this week. We've got a couple different types of lettuce here, but the romaines at this size is actually a really nice size for a salad. We've got, typically I should say, I do try to harvest the outer leaves and let the centers keep growing. But because these are so tight together, I may actually pull some of the ones in between to help give me some spacing. We've got icebergs as well, and here has other romaines. And then I did pull all of the broccoli rabe, you'll see here. And I might plant some more onions in here, and but I'm not sure yet because I'm not sure what this bed's going to be later. I did also plant some more lettuce seeds, and I'll start some more in the greenhouse as well as a more controlled environment, which would be great. And I also planted, I got a really nice little package from Michelle in the meadow, and she's also got some Birdies beds over there down in, I think she's in North Florida. Probably got that wrong though, Michelle. Please correct me if I got that wrong. So I got some watermelon radishes, so I did plant a few of those in this new open space. I love a red leaf lettuce, so I've got some heads of lettuce over here, romaines as well. And then this was the radish bed before, and I have now converted it over to our sweet potato bed, except for this one little head of red leaf lettuce. Once I pick the leaves off of this, I'll probably transplant that lettuce over to this other bed. This needs a lot of water though, so that is definitely on my list tonight. This last bed of potatoes is a 6-in-1 Birdies bed. It's a little smaller, and it is, let's see what you are. Eesh. It is filled with a very large gold potato that we really like, that we actually got from a organic Vermont farmer last year, and so we had a few extras in storage, so we ended up planting them for ourselves. I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have to look up this bug. If you know what it is, let me know, but it does not look like a friend. Over here I've got a lot of beets, mostly for beet greens, and I've got sweet peas, which are, these are flowers actually, not for peas. Onions, and I've got then eating peas up here. These are the ranunculus that did not do well with the heat and being exposed, so they are not great. So I've been picking these and actually drying the little flower heads for wreaths. Yeah, oh, a picnic pepper. I stuck that in, some basil as well, and snapdragons. This tunnel works out really nicely for us. I also planted, and I need to water a lot of this, but I planted the beans and cucumbers, and I think I did a long pie pumpkin in here as well this year. Got marigolds, basil, picnic peppers, zinnias, a bunch of dill, which I probably need for our homemade ranch soon, and more of the edible peas, some status as well. The garden's definitely filling out. Doing much better this year on lettuce than I did last year, but I almost forgot to start manure, so that would have been bad. And our spinach, I've been eating spinach and beet green salads most days, and it's been fantastic. Over here, this is kind of the wildflower area. I have Sweet William that I am starting to pick here, and that was yarrow that I just stuck the camera on. So I just picked a bunch of Sweet William for bouquets today. I've got some black-eyed Susans coming up, some glads that I planted in here, and this berm area here, this whole section, like about this area, is going to have compost put on top of it, and I'm planning on planting compost with cosmos on over here, and possibly some other things. I have 16 dahlia plants. I need to figure out where those are going also. So more to come on that. One of the best things about having a large property next to woods is that we also get a lot of fun weeds, and a lot of flower farmers will forage for a lot of their greens, and that's what I've been doing. So this is pennycress, and I have a very large amount of pennycress all the way down the hill there. And then behind the logs, I need to move a couple logs with Jace. But I have the wild sweet pea that's starting to bud, or it is budding, so it should start to bloom this week. So that'll be a really great filler. And then the tansy, actually, I'm pretty sure this is what this is, has come in, which I didn't realize when I actually had bought a couple plants and put them over in the other garden. So lots of stuff here to take advantage of. But with that, I hope you enjoyed our garden tours in our 3 different parts to try to get through everything today. And hopefully the air will clear up pretty quick and the wildfires will get under control. So again, please be safe. And if you have any questions or comments about what I've shown or haven't shown today, please let me know in the comments or reach out on Instagram or wherever. But I appreciate you guys' support, and please hit that like and subscribe button if you found this useful or enjoyed it. Until next time, happy gardening.